Standup, Schtick.
Ever have an Incubus tell you to check your privilege? That gives you something to think about. I was like, wait a second. You come into my bedchamber, unchaperoned, and induce sleep paralysis as a prelude to debauchery? But I'm privileged? He was like, yeah, and said I was in denial. I wasn't sure how to respond because his moral indignation, coupled with the mushrooming sleep paralysis, had a way of obscuring my sober reasoning. It's a thorny concept to assume that all wizards lead a charmed life. My grimoire is genre fluid and has systemically embedded marginalia. Sheesh. I wanted to say, your manufactured stigma-inflicting, guilt-compelling raising of my consciousness is seriously impeding my invocation of the ancient mystical powers. In all fairness, when it comes to ingeniously deceptive tools of dominance and oppression, involving insidious arguments with manipulative underpinnings that leave no way out for an innocent victim, well, obviously there's a time and a place. But privilege has nothing to do with my transgressions, let me tell you. Let's bring back the old meanings of the word, like the right to refuse to divulge confidential information. That's privilege. And something regarded as a rare opportunity and bringing particular pleasure. That's privilege. Anyway, the Incubus finally said, "So do you want to be debauched or not?" And yes, I actually heard myself respond, "It would be my privilege." Everything's so black and white these days. Anyone remember when it used to be fashionable to go gray in your magic? When intersectionality simply meant your spells didn't have to be specifically beneficial or completely hostile? Those were the days, eh? When crafty folk could employ terms for their vagueness and elegantly sidestep ethical questions. When necromancers were free to baffle, bewilder, and mystify everyone they met in order to gain mastery over them. But for all the doomsaying, I've actually not given up envisioning a world in which our opponents are never allowed to confirm their opinions about us. I still dream of the undecided always being the weaker. And I swear an oath, you know the one, that we can get there again. The campaign will have to be conducted at the grassroots, literally. And we're going to have to get our hands soiled. But no one here's a stranger to graveyard dirt, am I right? You know the 3 pernicious supernatural parasites that live inside everyone's head, chest, and abdomen and hasten the death of their host, only to become malevolent ghosts? Okay, I get that they're going to initiate sickness by inviting other disease-causing agents into the body. Haters gonna hate, right? But here's what I don't get. On the 57th day of the 60-day cycle, while their host is sleeping, they file a report to the Director of Destinies. All of my misdeeds noted in their little journals, and they have to go snitch to homeroom teacher? Bureaucracy, eh? So every 57th day, I have to stay awake for the entire night so as to prevent the 3 parasites from leaving my body and informing on me, thus avoiding having a number of days deducted from my life for each misdeed. It's like I'm destined to get eye bags either way. What's that? Just develop the immortal embryo in the cauldron of the body within which the 3 treasures are cultivated into a primordial unity? Well, I happen to be out of Cinnabar at the moment, but I'm working on it. I tell you, Combining internal alchemy with the cosmological 5 phases is just one thing after another. Then when I finally hit the sack, would you believe my wyvern insists on keeping a goat in the bedroom? The smell is distracting. What's that? Why not open a window and let the ravens out? While I could say you've been a lovely audience, what I really mean is go ahead and gather up your veils, mantles, and cloaks of secrecy, find your reticules, slip your moccasins and your vipers back on, for there's stoking to be done. I've been Professor Oddfellow.